Hello and welcome to another GM Report video. The playlist is in the description for the live streams and the prep videos and all that sort of stuff, but you already know that. So let's get right into it. This is for session 5. I know that this is probably an obvious one, but I made it very clear that Car following the rest of the group up to the House of Harmony is a bad idea. And I did that ahead of time before it became an issue. So, for example, I hinted at it first, and then they decided, okay, well, no, what we're going to do is we're going to stick a little bit behind. And so as they were walking up, I specifically made it clear that there aren't any places to hide going along this road, to just try to make it clear that this is a really bad idea and you probably shouldn't do that. And it worked. They didn't do that and they didn't get into trouble because of it. So yeah. The next thing is, which if you have been watching the prep videos, you will already have picked up on this, but the reason why Sorum didn't want to go up to the House of Harmony with the rest of the group is obviously because, well, then his deception would quite easily be uncovered, because he said that he's already been in contact with the House of Harmony officials about going to search for his brother, and if they go up there and talk with them and they've never heard of this guy, then yeah. Also, this is probably not the first time that Sorum has used this story, and so maybe there might already be a bit of mistrust there from the House of Harmony officials, maybe? Who knows? Right, the next thing is, when they entered the House of Harmony, I took a quick pause and I jotted down a name, which was the name of kind of the staff member, like the receptionist woman who led them into the waiting room. Because if the group had wanted to ask her questions, then it would have been good to have a name, and so I quickly came up with a name before I described the scene. Right. The next thing is, the 2 signatures that are required is something I made up on the spot, because if this was all that was needed, like he signed the contract, that's all done, then there wouldn't really be any reason for Arkan to really stick around here, since we haven't uncovered the underlying connections yet between what's happening to Arkan and what's happened to other people who entered this island. The other reason is that, like I alluded to before, is that Sorum has made up that Pral was part of the trade kind of section of the House of Harmony, and that he could help Arkan with his deals. And so potentially being able to expedite this waiting process is a reason for why Pral may still be useful to Arkan. So yeah, I decided to make it be 2 signatures that are required. The next thing is, I slightly misremembered Elia's backstory, because originally I said that she went, in the prep video, I said that she went to the House of Harmony temples first, but they've got a huge waiting list, and then she went to Vale Rift, and they are asking for a lot of money. But yeah, I misremembered that and slightly, and said that the clerics at the House of Harmony are asking a lot of money to dispel the curse. And then I realized, oh, that was meant for Vale Rift. But then I decided, actually, since this is very organized, all these guilds and groups of people, the religion, the faith, would be no different. And so it would make sense that they would charge the same amount of money for the same action if they're all under the same counselor. And so, even though it was a mistake, I like it better this way anyway. So yeah. The next thing is that the idea of Brak praying for guidance and to be pointed in the right direction is something I really like. And it's something that I've practically never, if ever, seen a cleric or paladin actually do in game. Like, players use those classes' special abilities, powers that the god gives them, like the actual spells and stuff like that, but actually communicating with a god to ask for direction, that sort of thing. I think that might be the first time I've seen a player actually do that, and it's a really good idea. And so I really like that. Of course, I do have to be careful not to make this too powerful, because then they could just use it always to solve all their issues. So it needs to be vague, and it needs to be law-friendly. So maybe the gods don't like helping in mortals' affair. Maybe the gods don't like guiding the paths of mortals, because then it's basically them doing their own dirty work. I mean, that's why they have clerics and why they have paladins, so that they have these champions to do their bidding for them, and they instill power in them, but at the end of the day it's still the mortals who choose what to do. And so maybe it could be a lore-friendly explanation like that or something. But yeah, I really like that. Right. The last thing I have is that in the moment I made up that I hinted at the Green Matriarch being a book burner, basically. Someone who deliberately destroys books and information for the sake of control and power. And so I think that fits quite well, because we know that she rules with an iron fist, basically. And we know that she likes being a green dragon. She likes pulling the strings herself and being in control of the situation, which is why she left when she couldn't control the situation of the beholder, which she never even figured out that there was a beholder. So yeah, that makes perfect sense. And it could actually be really interesting, because imagine if there's some mystery and then they find out hints that there might be like a secret library somewhere, or someone in the hills, like a farmer's cottage, is rumored to have an underground basement full of lore scrolls or something, but shh, don't tell anyone because it's a secret. You're not supposed to have that. And then actually traveling there and gaining this individual's trust and then gaining access to information. I think that could be really nice, especially since, like, here's one thing with information. Oh, there's some butterflies over there. I'm not sure if you can see them. Yeah, this is something with information. If you as GM just give out information all the time, then that's not going to be very interesting. Yes, if they are invested in what's going on, then yes, they will be interested in whatever they want to figure out, of course, but it doesn't feel special. If you have to actually earn the knowledge, then that's going to be so much more rewarding as a player and for you as a GM. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other thing is that obviously Brack doesn't have the Dispel Curse or whatever that spell's called. Maybe they'll have to travel to the clerics at Vale Rift and convince them to do it for cheaper or in return for other services if they want to help Elea. But yeah, that was the plan all along anyway, so that's good. So, bye-bye. See you next time.